Hey everyone, welcome to another one of the lovely character stories that we're going to do today. I've already been recording a whole bunch of stuff this day, so it's been quite a bit of stuff. But anyway, I don't have Hornet's story 100% ready yet in terms of getting it unlocked. There's a few more things I need to do. So for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and fill in another one by using, well, let's go ahead and cover Suruga's. I just recently oathed her on stream, and I thought, let's go ahead and cover her, considering how adorable she can be. For those of you who haven't actually seen one of the best things about oathing her, I have been told to head pat her a while back ago, and so I'll let you guys enjoy this real quick.
頭ポンポンポンポンポンポンポンポン
Anyway, that... God, that is such an adorable thing. So, alright, let's go ahead and dive into the character storyline, so see you guys in a second. Alright, Hidden Charm, a girl without a history. Port Office. Good morning, Commander. I'm Suruga. Starting today, I will serve the role of your secretary. Suruga entered my office and gave a brief introduction. My first impressions were that she's quite dignified, but also standoffish. Yeah, that's actually a pretty accurate first impression. I mean, even then, that's... Yeah, I mean, there's no other way better... There's some parts to her that are a little bit different than that, but it's still, for the most part, yeah, that's a very good first impression. I felt her watchful gaze, analyzing me. It was a little unnerving. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask a question right off the bat. Sure. What are you wondering? Why'd you appoint me as your secretary? Why me, of all people? That was a complicated question. I debated whether or not to answer it. No reason in particular. Really? Is this how you do things around here? Oh. You don't seem too pleased with that. She breathed this deep sigh, which took me by surprise. I worried if I'd offended her, and wondered if what I should have said instead. See, what she should have said it. Oh god, she actually just gonna provide an answer to that. She continued before I could say anything, phrasing it like she'd read my mind. I withheld comment as she took a deep breath, preparing to elaborate. It's so obvious why I was picked for this job, because the commander knows you. You might think, and you'd be totally wrong. The answer is blueprint ship bias. And that's despite the fact I'm nowhere near the level of a PR, let alone a DR. I mean, I guess gameplay-wise, yeah, you're not too great, but... To be completely honest, I actually really did like her at the end of Crosswave. Like, her and Shimakaze both were actually really likable characters. They didn't seem like that at first. I didn't really like how very, well, standoffish, actually is pretty accurate, Suruga was at the start of Crosswave. She just didn't want anything to do with anything. So, it was a little bit rough having to get used to that personality, and then over time she warmed up, and I really, really did actually start to like her in that regard as a character. So, yeah, that's definitely not the answer here. I never even asked for this position. It makes me stick out like a little, I thought that was little, like a lit Christmas tree at night. All I want is to quietly do my job and go unnoticed. Is that so much to ask for? God, I'm so close to having a nervous breakdown right here and now. On second thought, never mind, I said anything. A few seconds passed without a word from Suruga, yet somehow I had this feeling that she just roasted me to a crisp. Let's get back on track. What's on the agenda today? Her tone of voice changed noticeably. I took it to mean she had a change of heart. I could perform any tasks you need done within reason. Okay, thank you. Some people would probably request some interesting things from you if you didn't say within reason. You think I don't... What? I know Azur's community. It's not like I don't know it.
We have so many degenerates here.
She spoke with a sense of great gravitas, which... I don't think I said that one right. Whatever. I know what it means, I just always butcher them. That meant to reassure me. But at the same time, I sense there may be some workplace friction between me and her before long. I hope not. That would be absolutely terrible. Anyway, Chapter 2. What's on Suruga's mind? Port Office. Work was progressing smoothly, in no small part thanks to Suruga. Let's see. Every now and then she'd mutter a few words to herself, but beyond that, she did her job in total silence. In that regard, there was nothing to complain about. However, not everything was perfect. The mood in the room was just as tense as when we started. I didn't know what was going through her mind. I've completed the task you assigned me, Commander. Good to hear. You did a great job. What's next? I can see there's a lot of work on the back burner. Shall I take care of some of it? It's alright. You don't need to concern yourself with these particular tasks. I see. Do I take that to mean that you're reluctant to assign me any important work? That wasn't at all how I meant it. There was some hostility in her tone, and her question put me on the spot. I answered not with words, but with a nervous gaze, hoping she'd understand. Oh no, way to go, Suruga. You couldn't have made that more passive-aggressive even if you tried. That wasn't at all how I meant, ellipses? I'm sure that's supposed to say Suruga, but it's fine. That wasn't at all how I meant it. There was some hostility in her tone, and her question put me on the spot. What? That entire line just confused me there. I don't think that's supposed to be in there. I don't know, that seems odd. Anyway, just from looking at her, all signs point towards me having offended her in some way. I'll bet the commander's furious with me, which is a normal reaction to that attitude I just put on. If it's only going to get worse from here, it's time to reconsider the whole thing. Do you want to resign? Maybe I should resign. Wait, what? Strangely enough, we both got the same idea. Actually, resigning would be a terrible idea. I'd be teased to no end if people found out I quit only hours after becoming secretary. In the end, I decided against discharging Suruga. A reason that we just needed time to get to know each other better. It seemed to me she felt the same way. And so we both agreed to do our best to get on amicable terms. Yeah, that, This is kind of like at the begin. This kind of shows right at the beginning of Crosswave why I wasn't really too fond of her. I didn't really like this particular part of her at all. This was really the main reason why I was like, she's okay. I wasn't too like. I liked Shimikaze way better at the start of Crosswave than I liked Suruga, and really those first two chapters kind of goes into it. She's she overanalyzes a lot of things, and I think her partially not wanting to be center of attention and trying to avoid it as much as possible kind of actually works against her more than it really should. So yeah, that's kind of like why I wasn't too fond of her at the beginning. Hopefully it really starts to show the side that I actually really liked of her from Crosswave, where she does change over time as you get more and more comfortable. It's just a thing that's very, very hard for her, I know. So anyway, Chapter 3. Not standing out is hard. Port Shoreline Path. Suruga continued serving as my secretary, even if we had our awkward moments together. Yeah. We were heading to the exercise area that day, passing by a few familiar faces along the way. That's when a realization hit me. Neither of us were saying a word to each other, and simply stared at the ground as we walked. It was in stark contrast to the talkative people we passed by. We stuck out. And if there was one thing I knew about Suruga, it's that she hates sticking out. Say, how about we talk about something? She sounded terribly nervous. It seemed I was right. Please, you choose a topic. Give me anything. That being the case, I decided to ask her about her distaste for being in the spotlight. Why are you so anxious about sticking out? Well, talk about getting straight to the point. I suppose all things considered, you deserve to know. Allow me to explain. I was keenly interested to hear her answer. It's easy to become socially distant when you're like me, but rest assured, I still have people I consider my friends. That's okay, that's mean. I'm not gonna go there with that. I'm glad to hear that. I'm going to take that only the way you intended it. Yes, that would... Oh, I see where she... Yeah, alright. Yeah. Anyway, among my friends, one of them in particular just loves to be the center of attention. I think it's a certain Bun, isn't it? And you think something bad's going to happen if you get more attention than she does? Is that about right? You're quick on the uptake, aren't you? That's the gist of it all. I'll give you the whole story sometime later. The next thing I knew, we'd arrived just outside the exercise area. Suruga was going to participate in today's battle. Looking at the lineup, it seemed her opponent was someone close to her. Her sister, Ki, well... like, in my mind, I'm just thinking, oh, someone close to her. Ki? Literally, I think the sistership to her? I think? Well, okay, yeah. Chapter 4, to be a Ki. I think that answers that question. Port Exercise Area. To all who are joining us on this day, thank you for coming. After coughing a few times, one of the Sakura Empire's brightest minds, Amagi, addressed the crowd. Of course, that includes you, Commander. Your presence is greatly appreciated. I hadn't been invited just as a friendly gesture. There was an important role for me to fulfill. I was to serve as the referee for this naval exercise. It would be a friendly battle between Amagi's greatest apprentices and other ship girls connected by the threads of history. That's a very interesting line there. Well, well, you came after all, Suruga. Congratulations on taking the first step. Ki. Yep, me again. Ready to get whooped again? Alright, Ki, calm down now. You know, it's just like you to count your chickens before they've hatched. Tension was building. Ki and Suruga were about on par in terms of their rigging specs, but it sounded like he had an advantage from the get-go. It's time to begin. Commander, if you would. After taking a look across the spectators, Ki and Suruga, I gave the starting signal. Let's give the audience what they came for. Say goodnight. Ki immediately sprung into action. She held nothing back, firing several volleys at Suruga in an effort to take her out quickly. You've used this strategy a million times already. Get new material. Suruga dodged the volleys while firing back with sharp remarks, the likes of which I've never heard from her before. Whoa, what? What's changed with you between now and last time, Suruga? Ki was taken aback, but kept firing even so. Despite Suruga's evasive maneuvers, wearing away at her stamina, she now went on the offensive. This time will be different. I'll win, I swear it. Suruga's desire to win could be felt even from the spectator rows. Her heart was on fire. Of course, Ki burned with a similar desire, but Suruga's passion stood out particularly much. You're mine! Nice try. After much passionate fighting, it seems we have ourselves a victor. That was very short. It was a very short fight. I felt like there could have been more to that, but I mean, at least it does show that she does have, like, desires to become stronger and all that stuff, which is good. It's natural to have that. So, hopefully, that does help her in the future here. Anyway, chapter 5, the things we tell ourselves. Port Exercise Area. It was clear-cut who had won. Suruga was my secretary, but I couldn't let that influence my judgment. Victory is mine. Ki lured Suruga closer with a series of feint shots, securing the victory by scoring a hit at point-blank range. Her strategy had been executed flawlessly. The crowd burst into applause, congratulating Key on her result. That's that done with. Suruga, on the other hand, was indifferent about the whole thing. If anything, she sounded like she'd gotten done with a boring chore. Oh, so she really does... So was it just an act then? I mean, I guess if you win, you stand out. She doesn't exactly want to... Because I remember, like, when they had their competition in Crosswave, she didn't want to be first place. She didn't want to be last, either. So she just wanted to be somewhere in the middle of the pack. So I guess this is... Well, I mean, in a 1v1, how does that really work? Win or lose, you're still gonna be somewhat... I guess not winning is probably the best... I don't know. Still, this isn't the greatest thing of her here. Done with? It sounded like you weren't even trying to win. And? So what? And that's lame, that's what. It wouldn't kill you to give it 100% in a duel with me. Do that and I'll be able to give it as much as 120%. We've still got time for a round 2, you know. Come on. You had fun and you know it. Would it kill you to show some basic consideration? I'm also working as a secretary now, remember? I got huge amounts of work to do today and tomorrow. I don't have the energy for a no-holds-barred duel. Damn, girl, okay. Don't let me keep you then. Yeah, geez, Suruga. This, however, wasn't true. Suruga's workload for the day and the next was nothing out of the ordinary. She was making excuses for herself. Maybe she was bitter over her defeat. I felt I had to say something to her. Please, it's best you don't. Hi, Amagi. I rose from my seat, but Amagi stopped me and advised me against it. I think that needs to be an S. Not long after we returned to the office, Suruga's anxiety abruptly boiled over. I gave it my all. I really did. But I still couldn't beat Key. At least if I'm destined to wallow in mediocrity forever, then it's not my own fault. I'm just cursed. Simple as that. I was gonna say, okay. I didn't think that, like, I was sitting there like, I don't think she was that, like... Because I know she didn't want to be last, and then towards the end, she wanted to try to be, you know, to be really a good character and everything. So it's not like, you know, she's not the type of person that wouldn't try to do something. So I don't know, that was kind of... I was a little concerned about that, but it seems like that's not the case at all. Her sobbing grew little by little into a ball, and then something completely unexpected happened. Plop, plop, plish. She blurted strange words in an ever stranger tone or voice. But strangest of all was the fact that she grew a furry tail and her horns morphed into big fluffy ears. Ah, it's the Tanuki! Aw, is there no Tanuki sprite? Do they not have the Tanuki sprite in here? I'm actually kind of sad. They look like they belong to a raccoon. So for those of you who don't know, Crossway they revealed this, but Suruga's actually a Tanuki. The horns and everything about that aspect of her are all fake. So this also kind of explains her whole angle of not wanting to stand out. She wants to blend in. That's something that a Tanuki kind of likes to do. Oh dear, Suruga has dropped her disguise and shown her true form. Commander, you must evacuate. Hi, Shimakaze, why are you here? Pet. Shimakaze burst into my office as if she'd predicted this turn of events. She took me by the hand and dragged me outside. I think it's a little too late that we kind of know about it now. It's kind of hard for us to do anything about that. Anyway, Chapter 6, the weakness inside. Sorry, I just completely let that go. Not thinking about it. Port, evening. Shimakaze, being one of Suruga's friends, likely had an explanation for her transformation. I decided to ask her about it. She'd prefer it if you keep what you saw a secret. Suruga maintains a constant tough girl act, you see. She goes out of her way not to seem cute or delicate. And here I'd come to adore that cool side of her. Yeah, I kind of like it when she's a bit more herself. Like, her true self, you know what I mean? I'm not a huge fan of, like, people pretending to be something else. So, yeah, that's part of another angle I don't like about Suruga, well, originally. But again, as she changed, I actually started to like it a bit more. Look at these horns, Shimakaze, what do you think? Whoa, I'm simply stunned. As in stunned that you've managed to disguise your rear ears beneath them. They look so different. I'm simply stunned would have been plenty for an answer, you know? Sorry, at any rate, that face. At any rate, rest assured, I think you look awesome with a capital A. I'm sure I do. Or I sure do that. This new look will finally give me the confidence needed to truly excel. And that's the story behind them. Sadly, they still weren't enough to take her to the absolute top. As a result, Suruga set her expectations lower and lower. She'd settle for second place, then third, and it only got worse. Ki holds some quite strict beliefs. Defeat comes from not trying hard enough. All losers do is make up excuses for it. She doesn't know Suruga in and out. The only reason she associates with her is for her looks. Now I see the greater picture. There's only one thing I can do. You're going to try to console her. That and something more. There was Suruga, my secretary, and there was Suruga, the Ki class battleship. There was Suruga, brimming with valor in the exercise area, and Suruga, vulnerable and exposed. I learned something important that day. Suruga had two sides to her. When I returned to my office, Suruga had not only stopped sobbing, she seated herself at my desk and started working again. Oh, there you are, Commander. You were out for quite some time. She spoke casually and straight to the point, like nothing had happened before I left. It was a sly tactic, and seemed a little like what a raccoon would do. I don't think we realize it's not a raccoon, it's a tanuki, but fair. If you have any work lying around, just let me at it. I could use something to clear my mind. Her eyes were still faintly red after weeping for so long. Instead of assigning her work, I decided to tell her something to raise her spirits. Let's head out to sea tomorrow. The sea? But that's not on tomorrow's schedule? Unless you mean in the after hours, then I suppose that could be arranged. I wonder what we're gonna do. Anyway, Chapter 7, The Road to Improvement. Port Exercise Area. Please, I've asked you not to touch my ears, or horns, I mean. After finishing our work for the day, I invited Suruga to participate in a mock battle after finishing our work for the day, I invited Suruga to participate in a mock battle using a mass-produced ship. You'll show a preview of your steering skills before we begin? Are you that confident in them? Well, go ahead, I suppose. I'm not sure why you— Oh! Suruga's jaw dropped. I had just performed a maneuver characteristic of Ki's fighting style. I'd spent the whole previous night practicing to learn how to imitate it. I thought we just did a drift. You went out of your way to stage a mock battle against basically Ki. Just for me, Commander? With a hesitant gait, she seemed to come closer to me. Don't tell me you arranged this, hoping it would make me happy? Though she made it sound like she wasn't pleased, I could sense she was. Crap, I can't hide how obviously overjoyed I am. The tables had turned. Now I could read her mind, clear as day. My goal with this whole endeavor is simple. I want to make you comfortable with being yourself, and not who you think others want you to be. Are you trying to say you actually like my raccoon features? Are you just into exotic things or something? Your appearance is part of it, but it's not all. More importantly, I can't bear to see you keep losing to Ki. This will help with that. Aha! I see you've started. Are you having fun, Suruga? Shima, where did you come from and why do you have a habit of doing that? Shimakaze, you're not taking part at 2, are you? Not at all. I just completed a mission and I'm simply passing by to say hello. Isn't that right, Commander? Wait a second. Did the Commander get Shimakaze's aid to make this happen? Suspiciously. Oh, okay. No, I see. No, we own up to it. Come on. You know, you really didn't need to go through all of this effort just for me. The fact of the matter was that I wanted to. Suruga was precious to me, and it's only natural I'd want to convey that. I know that look. You're thinking of cheesy stuff right now, aren't you? It's giving me secondhand embarrassment. It's okay, no one else is around. You don't have to worry about it. She turned red as an apple from ear to ear and fired a volley of training shells at my ship. Oh, okay. As I maneuvered out of their path, I smiled and hoped for our now amicable relationship to continue just like this. Oh, no, you don't. It's time we get serious. Come here and I'll show you what I'm really made of. That was good. Oh god. Yeah, this is the kind of the thing I was kind of hoping would happen. So, I know that I'm drawing a lot of my own experiences from Crosswave, and technically the game isn't really canon compared to Azur lore. I'm not going to go into that because that could be a whole long conversation, and this isn't a video for it. Anyway, that said though, it's hard not to draw off of my own understanding of her character from Crosswave, because a lot of it came from there. I'm very familiar with how she was because of that. So I think the most important thing here was that, yeah, we did, for those of you who don't know her that well, that first bit, the first couple chapters really showed how negative that characteristic point of her can be. But at the same time, the commander's approach really did help. That was something that in Crosswave also was shown. It was a little bit different, though. She didn't really have the commander there for that, obviously, but it was also the fact that I don't think that was the main point that we were working with, was trying to find her own identity. I think that's kind of not what we were going with that. She just kind of agreed with that she was a part of everybody. You know, she was a part of a group just like everybody else, and I think that's what mattered to her more than anything else. So, but yeah, it's very different how they kind of have things with the commander here. So, the story is very different, but the personalities are somewhat the same. But yeah, at the beginning I was a little worried because a lot of the negativity from how I felt about her at the beginning of Crosswave really stuck out, and then as things changed, it was good. I think it ended pretty well. I think that was a lot of positive way, a very positive way to end her character storyline. Though it wasn't nearly as, I don't know, it's not as like heavy hitting as a lot of the other characters' storylines can be. It's not a bad thing, but it did kind of leave it on a pretty happy note, which is good. I think that's what was necessary. So, anyway, that was a not bad story. It's very fitting for Suruga, but definitely not a bad one at all. So, anyway, I will get Hornets worked on, and I should have that ready for next week, so don't worry too much about that. I got a few more things I have to do to kind of get her satisfied with that. It kind of sucks when you have to, when you have to do all the individual missions, and some of them don't necessarily line up with others, or you just completely forget that you need to do the daily with a character, so you already did the daily, and now you can't do anything about it, so you're just sitting there waiting for it. Yeah, not fun. But anyway, that is going to be all for this particular video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and go ahead and like I said, feel free to let me know who you guys would like to see after Hornet. I know I've heard things from Taiho. I think that's the big one right now outside of Hornet was Taiho, I think. But anyway, that is going to be all for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy that, and I will see you guys in the next live stream video that I do. Until then, I'll see you guys all again real soon.